Welcome to this Roll for Crit expansion, Prototype Edition. Why Prototype? Because the people from Mage Company, makers of 12 Realms, were nice enough to send us the prototype versions of the 12 Realms expansion, Ancestors Legacy.
And this is an expansion that was also kickstarted a while ago, and it should be coming out very soon for people who backed it.
Right.
And we'll be selling it at some point as well.
This actually is where I first heard of 12 Realms. So it's through the Kickstarter for this particular expansion, in which I backed it and also got the base game.
And if you're not familiar with 12 Realms, we did a full playback episode for the base game, which you can go back on our website and find. We'll put a link below so you can watch that.
Probably good to watch just to get the general basics of
Right, if you aren't familiar. Otherwise, now we're going to talk about this new stuff, which has a lot of new stuff in it.
Oh yeah, first off, it comes with a whole bunch of new boards. 4, I believe.
4 new boards.
They look like this. This is the paper version, obviously, like I said, prototype. But if it's anything like the final version, which as you can see, very nice.
Yeah, pretty nice. There's also going to be 11 new heroes.
Oh, yeah.
That each are double-sided, of
right.
course, with different abilities.
From all the different regions. Like we said, each realm, just like in the last game, is based on sort of the mythos from different cultures.
Fairy tales and the like.
This one, I believe, is Egyptian, Greek, Russian, and I'm blanking, Arabian. How could I forget that?
How could you forget that? Yeah. There's some cool, cool stuff there.
And it's really cool because they do, like we probably said in the first video, they really draw a lot from this. In fact, some of the monsters that appear in this set, in particular, I have the Russian ones here because those are the ones I know the least. 2 of them I did not know, which I'm not even going to try to say. I'm going to let Jonathan try to say them here.
Oh, that's the...
No, the Azdaja and the Alkanost. I actually had to look these up, which is really cool, which I like. I usually like it if anything makes me look up because I'm curious to find out what it is.
It's a little more exciting than when every game just has it's another orc or whatever.
Right. No, I'd love it when you pull, especially from other areas that might not be as known, in which this one's pretty much, it's like a harpy, or not harpy, a siren, sorry, in which it sings a beautiful song, so beautiful that you pretty much forget everything.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, siren, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
That's cool.
Apparently it resides in the underworld with the siren, so it's sort of like the twice removed cousin.
Okay.
But the best thing about the Russians, I'm just gonna note here, is the here at the Kozak, they're just penguin soldiers.
Oh yeah.
But enough about
that. Well, and then they've got some fun new heroes, like we said. In particular, there's a couple that we wanted to highlight because they're very different, which is Prince Ivan, and the Snow Wolf, who actually work together, and as one person can control them both. And the wolf is sort of the companion where you can send him out to collect treasures and fight enemies for you, and then he can come back and give you whatever rewards he got.
He reminds me of the dog you can get in Betrayal on the House of the Hill, except that you can actually fight things.
Right, exactly, yeah, so he's a little more used to that.
And most people can tell you if you play Betrayal on the House of the Hill, the dog is great. So the wolf is great too.
So that's a really cool, a new unique spin on
well,
things.
No, yeah, it was really cool because it wasn't just, talents with just shuffled around.
And of course, we did not in our version get new minis, but this game, as we said in the other video, has lots of great miniatures, and I'm sure there'll be more of this same quality.
In the base set, you'll get all the heroes. You can get a separate thing if you want the villains, which of course is really cool because they have villains here. Like I said, the Egyptians, they have Anubis.
Yeah.
For the Greek one, Thanos. I mean, they just look really cool, like really cool villains.
So it seems to me like the general theme of this set is making everything harder.
Well, it wasn't just that. What I think they did, I think they did a great job on the set, sort of to show what the other sets to come are, is they're showing that they are going to take the game and let's see how we can come up with how many weird different ways to play the game.
Oh, that's definitely true.
And I think that's what they did. And they did it in a way that some of them I think are reasonable, just a small step. Others are a much bigger challenge.
So there's going to be a bunch of new plots in this game, and we're going to talk about some of them. And each plot is like a special scenario that changes the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll say in general, I think all of them, if not, or most of them at least, added 2 Dark Lords per board as opposed to just 1 in the original.
But what was interesting is a lot of times that the Dark Lord wasn't the target anymor.
Right, they're just an obstacle. Yeah,
it reminded me a lot more to the. Once again, we always pull to it the plot or schemes from Legendary. It really switches how you're gonna play. Like that greatly. Like,
any game.
But this takes it to the next level.
Or even like something like Mansions of Madness, or any game where there's like the same rules but with different scenarios. Yeah.
Another thing what I really liked about these scenarios is each one actually came with a little story to actually what's going on. So there wasn't
some of them not so little.
We'll get to that. But like I think we should just start with the first one.
Sure.
Yeah, Squirrel Raiders, for example. It actually explained why you're gathering the squirrels. Because in a tradition which I'm pretty sure is might be from an early 90s Saturday morning cartoon. Two of the Dark Lords from the fairy tale forest, one of them apparently is her evil scientist. Well, it shows like, look at this potion I made to make squirrels evil and feral. Puts on the squirrels. The squirrels at first look like they're not doing anything, in which case the Dark Queen's like, go to the dungeon. But then the squirrels actually run out and turn evil, and she's like, I like this. Get these all around the worlds by tomorrow morning. Let's see how the heroes deal with this.
So how do the heroes deal with this?
Well, they actually have to... Well, nothing happens until one of the markers hits 7 on one of the realms. From there, the squirrels just sort of appear everywhere, every single place, except for one area in which their nest is. And it's up to you to gather the squirrels one at a time, possibly 2 if you have a mount, and get them to their home.
Yeah.
Of course, the Dark Lords don't like this either. So each board has the possibility of spinning up to 2 Dark Lords. And those Dark Lords, if there's a squirrel with them, will protect the squirrel, and you must defeat that Dark Lord.
Yeah, so...
Which we found to be very challenging.
It's challenging. I mean, it was nice. You can pick them up a little easily. Yes. But yeah, I like that was a good starter one where it doesn't add too many crazy new rules, but it's very different compared to the regular games.
No, we were definitely playing completely different. We also got really lucky with some of our starts. Like I had my character, I don't know if all of them have it, but 3 wings and was starting right next to an area. So I dropped off 2 squirrels at once.
Right. Yeah, it's fun bringing the squirrels back and forth. It felt to me like a bunch of escort missions, only more fun than a regular escort mission. There are lots of ones. The one that we did not get to try.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, we should mention actually before all of these. Another thing that we noticed.
Yeah.
A lot of them require a lot more people.
Yeah, they actually give you the suggested number. I think one of these was 3 players.
But
the rest
were like at least
4 or 5 to 6.
Yeah. So that's something a good thing for you because then this get more people around.
Right.
But at the same time, some of these are a little bit harder to.
So the next one we're talking about is Find the Ninja, which I'm sad is the one we didn't get to try.
Because it's one of the things we always talk about every game we love.
Yeah, which is the hidden traitor. And in this one, at certain points in the game, if you defeat a Black Fortress, you draw a random ninja card, and one of them makes you the ninja. And if you're the ninja, you're actually working on the side of the enemy trying to defeat everybody. And there's ways that people can accuse you of being the ninja, and then once they find out if you're the ninja, they all have to come together to try and banish you.
However, you can't just accuse willy-nilly.
You have to exploit talents, random talents, based on the die rolls you get. So it could end up being very difficult to accomplish that task. And I think I like this because it sounded a lot more interesting than they had the dark player variant in the first game. I think this kind of is a more exciting, more stuff to do as the bad guy.
I think another thing was also it's more challenging to hide as the bad guy.
That's true too.
And I think that's a good thing in this case.
I'm really interested to see
to try to play off not too much like you're not killing the other villains, but
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious to see how people would play it because it's different. You have to kind of get your head around it. Let's go over a couple more. We don't have to do everything. How about the Pyramid of Time?
Okay. This one is definitely one you want to save for the most experienced players, at least in our experience of this. What's happening? Well, you know what? You tell the story first. I think you should explain.
Basically, time travel has been invented, and the Dark Lords, to cover it up, have hidden their time machine in a big pyramid. And this guy, to try and protect everyone, has sent his son back to the past to warn the heroes about the pyramid of evil. So that's where the game takes place, is you're trying to stop the time travel menacingness before it happens, I guess.
Now, in order to do this,
yeah,
there are 4 tablets, or there are a tablet per board. I think they say they want at least 5 players for this one, so 5 boards.
Right.
And you must get the dark marker on each of those. The tablet will have a number on it, and you must get the dark marker to land on that tablet. You cannot do it through the invader increasing. Instead, you have to do it through pyramid cards, which will have a number of going either forward or backward, a random number. And, of course, you need to exploit a certain talent to make it forward or go, whether forward or backward. Mm-hmm. But you need to use at least 3 pyramid cards per table, per tablet. Once you do, it locks the board so you're safe.
Which is nice.
Yeah. Problem is, only 2 players may draw the pyramid cards, and only 1 each round, for each, we believe. And only a different player can activate the pyramid cards. Yeah. And he must activate them alone, so no sharing resources. So it becomes a very difficult challenge for the person who has to activate the cards to get the resources to do the math in time to activate the piece to move back or forward in the right way, while the other 2 have to gather up cards, while the other players have to make sure the board doesn't go out of control and lose.
And that's actually kind of a common theme. I'll just briefly go into one of the other scenarios, which is the chase their brooms with witches, where certain players have to have a certain ability, and then another player has to do something else in order to finish it off. So there's a lot, like the same way in this, it encourages people to have cooperation and that they have special abilities, so you have to actually meet up and do stuff together.
Yeah.
So it definitely adds a challenge, but it also adds a little more of an integrated kind of feel, I think.
Right. No, but this one out of all the rest, I feel like. No,
the pyramid one
Chase the Brooms was very fun because it was sort of... I actually liked the story for that one actually was more like the opposite of Saturday Morning. It was more like a villain who actually knew what was going on. It was like, all right, we need to stay alive. The witches need to stay alive so the heroes can't catch us. Now, we can fly on brooms. That's true, if I can speak correctly. And they can't get up here. However, other creatures might help them, so do not stop moving. Keep flying. Just keep flying. So that was actually pretty, like, it actually made sense. And the what you have to do in that one is you have to actually, the witches each round are going to move around. You have one players have to use either the flying pig or the Pegasus, because they fly, to catch the witches and cage them. And then from there, it's
either Joan of Arc or Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yes, and either one of them have to then...
So they come in and trap them, basically, yeah. Yeah, so it's all about the different abilities. Only again, which is much a little simpler and a little less confusing, at least at first for us, as was the pyramid one. But that's
The problem with the pyramid one was just because with the witch one, even though they fly around the board, usually your strategy isn't going to change. I'm always going to be hunting them down. You just get ready to hunt.
Right.
And we should mention Joan of Arc and the Sugar Plum cannot be the one with the flying pig and the Pegasus.
Right, you have to.
Yeah, you got to share. But the pyramid one, depending on what enemies were left, could move up the board and you're like, well, the 3 combo card I was planning to do isn't gonna work anymore.
It can be brutal if you're unlucky. But we've covered. I think we've covered. There's more, but
there's a lot.
We don't need to go into every single one. But those are some of the ones we thought were the coolest. And so basically, I mean, like you said, it adds way more variety, a lot more. The objectives are much more varied in this.
Oh, we should mention. I mean, none of the ones I have here, I believe. Yeah, these are all pretty much the same, but some of the new invaders were much more punishing.
Yeah.
Such as the Medusa, who they added a new sort of, I guess, defeat condition in which if you defeat it, you get poisoned.
Right, so poison actually removes some of your talents until you can cure yourself. You instead have poison markers in their place, so that can be really, really bad.
No, yeah. What I was shocked is most times when we see this in a game with a wound or poison, usually you're like, oh, that means you just need to sit and rest for a turn. Not so in this. You gotta do more, which is really scary but impressive.
And there's a couple other new ones too. Like there's one enemy where it makes you discard a card, a town card, and stuff like that. So yeah, there's lots of new enemies too. Lots of new invaders, as well as Dark Lords. Lots of new everything.
Yeah. I don't think this comes with the base set. I mean, I backed this on Kickstarter and I just got the complete package. They have miniatures as well for the pyramid, which in the Pyramid of Time you actually put on the board.
Yeah.
And the Pantheon, which is from another scenario. So it's really cool. They definitely put a lot of work not into just writing these stories and stuff to actually sort of make sense at least. So the squirrel, like I said, the squirrel one's like a bad 90s. But I mean, like with the miniatures and the board, it comes as a very nice game.
Yeah, no, I really think it adds a lot of value to the game. The amount, like, I'm always about variety in games.
No.
I always want a different experience every time, and this gives
that's what this expansion says. Shows. We already know Ghost Story. Was it Ghost Story?
Bedtime
Stories is the newest one, but the one before, the Ghost Town, which is already kicked back as well, which I did as well, brought a whole new area because the whole thing is there's going to be 12 rounds in the end. But in that one, someone starts there is locked there. So their whole it's obvious with each expansion they're really trying to say how can we make a whole new scenario that changes. You can't use the same strategy. Like even in some games like Legendary, even though the plots change things, in the end there's usually like, okay, I can just get Wolverines, and if I go on the draw train 9 times out of 10, no matter what's going on, I'm gonna wreck the board. That doesn't work nearly as well here.
Yeah, because the objectives are completely different.
Yeah, and I think that's really good.
Yeah, it shows there's a lot. The basic game system is very malleable. There's a lot of different ways they can take it, and they are.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played the game, if you like the game, the base is on our site for sale, as well as I'm sure some other places, and of course. The Kickstarter should, depending on if you're watching this right now, should be launching very soon.
You may be watching it while it's already active,
right, or after it's already passed.
In which we'll be very excited to see what
the Kickstarter. We should be clear, for bedtime stories, not for ancestors. But I'm sure you'll be able to add on as add-ons.
Well, I know in the other ones you could, so I doubt they're gonna not
this or the base, etc. And we'll at some point have all these available in our own store.
Yes, in which we'll do official videos, so we can actually show you what the official final components will look like.
Right, exactly. So that website, of course, is rollforcrit.com, where you can buy all these games, 12 Realms, and many, many, many more, as well as more video podcasts and previews like we're doing right now.
And of course, we'll also do a lot of playbacks for games, like we said earlier, for the original base. So you should check that one out, as well as some of our others.
That would be awesome if you did. And leave a comment, subscribe to us, YouTube, etc., Facebook, whatever you have. Let us know what you think. If there's anything you want us to check out for you, we will do so happily. Any final thoughts? Basically, we like it. We think it's cool.
Well. First of all, I'm always drawn to anything that forces me to actually look up anything from another place, so that's always a good thing. For you, anything that automatically brings you more value to the game.
Yeah.
Throw in the miniatures, the quality of the board. I think it's definitely one worth checking out.
It's nice. It's a fun game. Well, that's it for this edition of Roll for Crit Expansions Prototype. Stay tuned. There will be more stuff coming at our site in the future, rollforcrit.com. Until then, I'm Jonathan Estes.
I'm Will Keeler, and this has been a Roll for Crit Expansion Prototype.